Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and this video is going to be talking about my Barcelona FC. We will be talking about my favorite favorite starting 11 of all time, and a couple of mentions here and there, like for example, I'm not saying he'll be my XI or the greatest Barcelona player ever, but I really like Pedro Rodriguez, so players like that, and there were some positions that look, majority of these positions were cemented except for one. Yeah, only one position was I unsure about. But everything else to me, the 11 stays the same. So let's get into it. And obviously I'm using FootMob just because it has old players and new players and everyone. And I'm going to give a couple of shout outs. Obviously, Barcelona has had Szczesny, Garcia as of now, which I reckon in 15 years' time could be the best Barcelona goalkeeper of all time. We've obviously had, some random players, Pinto, I don't know, but Messi's mate, who was a rapper apparently now. But there's two that I haven't mentioned. A lot of you guys will be like, you can't say Mark ter Stegen, and no, it's not him. It's not Marc-Andre ter Stegen. But I think he gets a lot of hate. And look, recently, fair enough, as in, not that you should hate on anyone, as in throw hate comments. But I get it. The last couple of seasons has not been great. Fair enough, I'm not going to disagree with you, but I think when he was in his first couple of seasons, he was great. The 14-15 Champions League run, I think he had a great performance. But obviously, I think if you're a Barca fan, and let me know in the comments who you guys would say as your 11 or players that you reckon I missed or I didn't give enough love to, because obviously, like, you guys, even if you're not a Barcelona supporter, you could appreciate players from other teams. Like I really like Modric, for example, or Isco. I enjoyed them a lot. I love Marcelo. So we can still appreciate players even when we don't fully agree with them. So I'm going to get into it. Barcelona starting 11 of all time, my favorites. Let me know your favorites. Goalkeeper has to be Victor Valdés. Victor Valdés won 3 Champions Leagues for us. Victor Valdés, from memory, no hat-tricks have ever been scored against him for Barcelona, maybe other teams. He has, but from Barcelona, never conceded a hat-trick. To me, I loved him. As a young man, I remember one of my best mates who was a Barcelona supporter wanted to be a goalkeeper because of Victor Valdés. He thought he was cool. He thought he liked that he was a little bit crazy, but to be fair, every goalkeeper is a little bit crazy nowadays. Always. So that's my pick. The next one is someone I don't want to spend too much time talking about him just because obviously, there's been interesting stuff about him. Danny. Oh, you can move it a little bit. Oh, whoa. I didn't know you could do that. Well, let's do this a little bit. There you go. I'm learning something new every time. Yeah, obviously, don't want to talk too much about him. But obviously, I think he's the most decorated player of all time, I think. Either him or Messi, but I know that this guy's won 43 major trophies. That's huge. 43 is crazy. Yes, and has obviously won it in different places for different people. Best right back we've had for wow. I don't know if you guys remember a couple seasons ago where we spent years trying to replace him. And we couldn't, and the best option to do was to go sign him again at 38 years old. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, I'm like, what are we doing? But I get it. He was so good to us, and he loves Barcelona. Let's move on, though. Then, our first defender for this team goes to the player, to me, the best Barcelona captain we've ever had, and lifted, and I read this thing, he hadn't won a trophy till he was 27 years old. And after 27 years old, he won, I think it was 21 major trophies. I should have written it down. 21 major trophies he had won, and that is Carlos Puyol, my boy. This guy made me love defenders. I was never a defender. I was not big enough, strong enough. I wasn't a little bit crazy. But this guy, I loved just in games where you see like the players dancing and it's sort of like he's dragging them. Even at times when they're like winning by 2 goals, he's yelling at them, going, "Oi, like get your head screwed on." Or what's this? Oh no, I don't want to do that. Get your head screwed on. We're not done. Business is not done, and I love that about him. I love that he wasn't even that tall, but the way he played was brilliant. I think towards the end you could see some mistakes and some little errors here and there. I think he's a great player, but the best Barcelona defender I believe we've ever had. Now, obviously, there's Ronald Koeman, and I will never hate on him. But I mean, I can't judge him based on the play. I'm only going to judge the plays that I have seen. And there'll be a couple of shout-outs where you'll be like, but did you see him fully? To some degree, yes, because I watched a lot of highlights. I've gone back and watched some Barcelona seasons as well. So, obviously, like, Mascherano is just a shout-out. He's not the next player, but Mascherano, great shout-out. Defensive midfielder, went into centre-back, short guy, but was great for us. But my player is, I reckon, the best Barcelona centre-back we've ever had, and the most overhated, underrated centre-back of this generation. Because the last couple of years for Barcelona, he was hated on for things because of how crap we were. Mate, if you go look at the starting 11s of those seasons, we were all crap. Like, we had so much crap. We had Dest playing as right winger at times. Like, it was just not great. Like, and I think we look back on those days and we're like, oh, but he was so bad at this and that. If you actually watch Piqué was such a great player for us. If you look at how he performed in the Champions League for us, if you go back to 2011 and 15 specifically, he was phenomenal. Like, he was so good for us. One of the few players that just was a standout, and I think he gets hated on more recently because of that and the whole Shakira thing, and Twitter or X meme culture is just so toxic. Like, it's just so rubbish. If you watch him for Spain, he was phenomenal. Like, at times where you see him and you're like, oh man, like, this guy is so overhated. And I think he's a brilliant he's El Presidento one day. I believe that him or Messi. Apparently Messi's going in for it now. Then on this spot, now there's a battle between the two players that I really like. I obviously saw Eric Abidal, obviously acting like I'm this old man. No, I watch a lot of Abidal, but I think for me, who I've watched the most and who I've seen, I guess, maybe, and one of the reasons I'll use is because it's Jordi Alba, obviously, for those of you who don't know. And it's because of him and Messi, and I love it. Messi's last goal for Barcelona, Jordi Alba actually assisted him against, I think it was like Celta Vigo. And I love Jordi Alba. I've got like this big love for him. I think this whole debate of who was better, Marcelo or Jordi Alba, I think was stupid. Two different players. Marcelo was obviously better. Like, that's not me acting like, oh, Jordi Alba was... But Jordi Alba was not a bad player. I think people just compared him too much to Marcelo and he wasn't appreciated because of that. I think Jordi Alba is a great player. Between him and Messi, they had 35 assist goal contribution with each other, and like, it was just, he's brilliant player, and I'm grateful we had him on our team. I feel like the left back position, obviously we've had times where it's been a bit harder, but I love that we've gone from Abidal, Jordi Alba, we've got Balde now. I'm happy. The right hand side, I mean, Koundé now, praise Jesus that that's happening. Defensive midfielder goes to a man who, the puppet master, the guy who played over 700 games for us, the guy who is your favorite player's favorite player, and it's Sergio Busquets. And if you watch Inter Miami, obviously it's not top 5 leagues or one of the best leagues in the world, but the way he still plays is just, I don't know how he does it. I don't know how his brain is thinking 14 steps ahead. I love Busquets. When I was growing up, I was a center mid because I had stamina for days, but my coach moved me into the defensive mid role, and I was like, I could be Busquets without his height, and I was probably I had a bit more weight than he did, but this guy is Oh man, to me, my favorite defensive midfielder of all time, and I'm saying like all time. No defensive midfielder comes close to him. Oh, okay, that's crazy. No one like the way he plays, the way he carried Barcelona, because he's not this big dog who wants to attack. Brilliant footballer, love him. And obviously, I am gonna go for Xavi, and you can't say one with the other. They are. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? What is... Oh, man, so many Xavis. Oh, let's go. Oh, of course his last name's not on there. Well, obviously, let's talk a little bit about Xavi while I look for him. Hopefully I don't miss him. Oh, I could just select a random Xavi for now just to... Okay, I can't see him, so you guys will get the point when I... Oh, wait. Maybe if I look for the photos. See, I didn't even think about that. I was just looking for the name. Xavi. As if you guys are going to tell me that I've probably missed him. No, I actually haven't. I'm just going to pick a random Xavi. This Xavi, yeah. Xavi Hernandez. This guy. Oh, I'll just do both. And look, a couple of shout outs to a couple of players. You're going to hate... No, you're not going to hate me. You're going to love me for one of them. Look, I know obviously nowhere near as close as these two guys, but two people I love heaps, and I think there's obviously been players who have come to Barcelona and had a huge impact for us. People who have played the midfielding role who have been great. Like, obviously, I never watched Pep Guardiola, but for me, it's I'm gonna give a shout out to obviously Pedri, and I know you're gonna be like, it's too soon. I don't think it is. Since he's joined us, he has been probably throughout the whole time, I would say, been our best player. Obviously, Lamine Yamal, to me, is the greatest player, the best player, in the world right now. But since Pedri has joined till now, as long as I can remember, he's been the most consistent. And another one is Rakitic. Rakitic, when we had him for those 4 or 5 years, to me, he's a brilliant footballer. Highly underrated. I think this guy is sick. I've got a lot of love for him. I think for me, the thing that stood out to me for Rakitic was the Champions League against Juventus. Rakitic was a rocket launcher of a shooter. But let's talk a little bit about Xavi and Iniesta. These two lads, you can't have one with the other. You cannot have one with the other. The magicians, the crazy clutch players, the assisters, the guys who will pass. Players who we have looked back on since now and years that have gone by and the years to come and say, how did neither of these guys ever win a Ballon d'Or? And it's because obviously Messi and Ronaldo, it was that generation. But these two guys were the two guys that just, when you knew that they were your starting center midfielders, or all three of them, you knew that it was over. These guys were just magicians to the T. And obviously, we Barcelona's always been notorious for great midfielders with as I said, Johan Cruyff was there. Obviously, Maradona, more of an attacking kind of player. Again, I didn't see these guys 24/7. I've only seen highlights. Obviously Pep Guardiola. I know Luis Enrique had some good years for us. So Deco obviously is again, I'm not saying we had it's just these three, but we've had great plays. But when you compare them to the likes of who we've got now, it's and another shout out could be obviously with the trophies that we win. Wouldn't come above these guys. Frankie De Jong is highly disrespected. That's just a big one right there. That's just a big shout there. Now we will go to the left wing, and this one hurt me a lot. Obviously, I'm just gonna go through some of the forwards that I had written down. Obviously, you've got Eto'o, Henry, Lewandowski, Villa, David Villa, Pedro Rodriguez, Ibrahimovic. So we've obviously had great forwards throughout the years, and I'm probably forgetting someone. I'm probably gonna be, as I speak, I'm gonna forget some people, and that's all right. You can hate on me, I don't care. But I think that the toughest one for me was the left wing because the right wing, you're obviously gonna know who I've put there. For me, it was between two men, and that was Ronaldinho and Neymar Jr. And this has genuinely been one of the hardest things I've ever had to go like between the two. Here we go. Another name sorry. I'm thinking of Brazilians. Obviously Rivaldo, Kluivert. Obviously we've had those guys. So obviously we've had great players. Alexis Sanchez is a great one. But it was between Neymar and Ronaldinho. And to me, it's hand in hand. I'm battling it out. I wish I could pick half, but I have to choose it based on one thing because they both brought me great joy. I both got to watch them, but my first ever jersey I ever got is Ronaldinho. And again, who do I think is a better player? Personally, I think Neymar is the better player. I know it sounds crazy. You're gonna hate on me. You're gonna say I don't know anything. Whatever. I don't care. To me, Ronaldinho has to go because of nostalgia, because of what he meant to me. That's why I would pick him. And now for the forward role goes to to me the best striker Barca's had in this day and age, and who I've seen week in week out. To me, brilliant player. Don't bite people, Suárez. I know a lot of people don't like him. One thing I appreciate is 15-16 season. You've got Messi, you've got Ronaldo, you've got all these great players, but who ended up topping the season with the most goals? Luis Suárez. And now to end it all and to end this video, to the GOAT himself, Lionel Andreas Messi. Let's talk a little bit about Messi before I go. 91 goals in a year. Greatest footballer of all time, most Ballon d'Ors, most decorated player. If he's not including individual awards, then probably everything included. The greatest player of all time, the greatest GA of all time, the greatest player to ever, and you could say Pele, Maradona. Shut up. Messi is the greatest player of all time. This is my team. This is who I reckon. If you want me to do more of these, maybe for your team, comment. Let me know which team I should do next. Let me know if your team needs to be done with this. But again, I'm not going to base it around who I reckon the world thinks is the greatest of all time. This is who I reckon is. And every team I've got favorites, and this is my Barcelona favorite. So let me know what you guys think. Comment, share, subscribe, whatever it is, do it. Love you guys.